Thanks so much for spending time with us. Alongside Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford. Good afternoon to everyone at home, and Betsy, to you too.
To you too. We're keeping a very close eye on the radar. Matt is going to be along in just a few moments with the latest on these scattered storms. Some very interesting stuff happening in Cuyahoga County. But we begin with breaking news tonight because police say an officer shot a man after witnesses called to report that that man was armed at a shopping center in Woodmere. This is a developing story still at this hour. Amani Abraham joins us now with more on what we know. Amani?
Hi, Betsy. Yeah, we know that it happened earlier this afternoon. Police say they got a call of that armed man at Eaton Place. It happened right across the street here, just about a block away. But behind me is where the encounter ended. Police say when they arrived at the shopping center, a struggle took place at first and then a chase into a residential area nearby. Several departments were called to the scene. Woodmere Police Chief Sheila Mason says an officer who has not been identified yet fired their gun.
He had a weapon, which he drew. So once the officer asked him to raise his hands, he refused, took off.
No word yet on the condition of the man. He was taken to a hospital. Body cam footage, we're not sure, not clear yet if there was body cam footage during this incident. BCI is on scene investigating. Of course, we'll bring you the very latest.
All right, Amani reporting live for us
Abraham,
this
3
evening.
News.
Thank you so much, Amani. Jay?
All right, Betsy, now on your feet at 5. It's likely that you've heard the news by now, but here it is again. Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield has indeed been playing injured, and this goes all the way back to that Week 2 win against the Houston Texans. We all remember that play right there. That's when Baker needed to turn into a tackler after throwing an interception. He left the field for a little bit, but never missed a snap. Now we have learned he indeed has suffered a partially torn labrum. That's in his left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder. The voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, joins us now. Jimmy, surgery not needed at this point, but this, make no mistake about it, is a painful injury.
Absolutely. Surgery definitely at the end of the season, and
Right.
hopefully that is a long way away. So, like sands through the hourglass, as the days have passed, we have learned more and more about this injury, and the report came out today that Jay just talked about, that Baker is indeed playing in pain on that left shoulder, a partially torn left labrum on that hip right there when Justin Reed picked him off in the home opener and Baker turned into a tackler. Remember, the shoulder came completely out. He went into the locker room, they popped it back in, and he never missed a play, and he hasn't missed a play in a game nor in practice. But he came under great criticism for the way he played last Sunday in Minnesota. And so they came out early this week and said, well, he's playing with a harness on that left shoulder, but it doesn't affect his throwing. One by one, his teammates lined up today and talked about their quarterback's toughness.
Just toughness. That's what you would expect that from him. He's not going to sit there and complain about it and do all these other things. He's just going to go out there and play. I know it's unfortunate, but it just is what it is.
There's no doubt in any of the players' mind that he's one of the tougher guys out there. You know, he's going to go and he's going to battle, and he's been hit and beat up before, and he just keeps coming back. You know, you're going to have to do a lot more to get him out of games than, you know, whatever's going on with him now.
All right, and that was reiterated by his offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, who shed some light on the injury and said, listen, he was a quarterback, too, in the NFL, and a pretty good one, and he had 2 torn labrums. He had surgery on one of them. Jay, this is a period of time where a bye week would really be welcomed by Baker Mayfield specifically. Not so much by the Browns, but with Mayfield specifically. They don't have their bye week until week 13. So that's like at the beginning of December. Now, he'd get a mini bye week in about a week and a half when the Browns play that Thursday night game here against Denver. And then, of course, they'd have the whole weekend off. And then the following week, last year, the bye week helped him. Remember, he had bad ribs over in Pittsburgh. They gave him the week off. During the bye week, he came back, and that's when he went on that real run towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and there's going to be a gentleman by the name of Bosa that's chasing him down Sunday.
Right.
So, boy, I mean, this is not a good time to have a banged-up quarterback on his left side and a left tackle that's still kind of nursing that ankle. Any word at all on Will's ankle?
It is day-to-day right now. I think the signifier, Jay, is going to be Chris Hubbard. He'll be the key in the equation here. Hubbard has been trying to come back from a tricep injury that he sustained in the opening game in Kansas City. If he's healthy enough to play, they might pull the plug on Wills and sit him down and give him some rest. If he cannot play, then that's a problem, and they might do it again, and Wills would start the game and try and get through as much as he can. Now, remember, he has not been able to finish any of these games. He's always had to come out on the situation. Jay, the other side of this story with Mayfield is there's been a real PR campaign, I think, done maybe by the Mayfield camp, certainly by the Browns players and coaches. Baker took a lot of heat on national shows this week about his performance, with people saying, you can't pay a guy like that $40 million. Remember, still in the offing is that long-term deal. And so you wonder if everyone's smoothing it over a little bit and saying, hey, he's a tough guy. Look at what he's playing with right now.
Oftentimes, agents can be behind news like this.
They have
trying to protect his player.
They have good telephone numbers. They get through, Jay.
Yeah, they do. They do. They have a lot of them. All right, Jimmy, we'll see you again at 6.
Thanks, Jay.
We go now to a live look at Cleveland Public Auditorium, where Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson is getting ready to speak. Tonight at 5:30, he'll give his last State of the City before leaving office. Jackson has served as the city's mayor for 16 years. That makes him the longest serving mayor. And watching all the while, our Mark Namick. What do you think is going to happen tonight? What's he going to lay out?
Well, I think we're going to hear a little bit of a review. 16 years. Typically, these events are year-to-year report cards on the city's finances, the challenges, what they're facing. But now this is different. He announced back in May that he would not seek a 5th term. So I think right now we're going to see this, a little bit of what I've done and what's ahead.
Certainly a lot for him to talk about. And, as far as where things are going to be going in the future, I'm assuming, he's been in City Hall for 30 years and whatnot. Beyond that, what about other topics he's going to address?
Well, the pandemic for sure.
Okay.
He has been talking about it for a while because it has really crushed the city's income tax, which drives the bulk of the city's services in the city of Cleveland. But the government is bailing cities out across America, including Cleveland. They're getting $500 million over the next 2 years. A big chunk of that is now in the hands of the current administration. I think he's going to talk a little bit about the priorities and how he thinks those should be spent.
All right, and this is also the first time we'll be hearing him speak after his grandson was killed. Obviously, an emotional time for him and his family. You've reported that the mayor raised Frank Q. Jackson, and obviously, that's been a highlight or a big part of coverage recently in the mayor's, term in office. Where do you think things are going to go with that topic?
In the past City Club speeches, or at least 2 years ago, he complained about media coverage of his grandson, which faced many legal challenges, or criminal charges against him. I think he'll talk about it in a larger sense. He has lamented the street violence. He says it's something that still haunts him. He talked about that as recently at his announcement in May, when he really said that the drug game has no mercy. And if you think about that now, how chilling that is, given what has happened recently to his grandson. And then I think he will talk a little bit about the legacy that the kids, the schools, he pushed a big tax levy that was really unprecedented. He believes that everybody should share in the prosperity, and the tax issue in the schools is one way they can do it. Police reform, he did invite the U.S. Justice Department in to investigate the police department that led to that consent decree, which is still ongoing. So I think there's a lot to talk about. His grandson, though, will be the big overshadowing issue.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are still waiting to hear from him on that topic.
Yes,
Right,
he will address it.
We'll be watching. Thank you so much. Jay?
Betsy, big news today from Pfizer, as the drug manufacturer announced it has officially asked for emergency use authorization from the FDA for its vaccines for kids ages 5 to 11. There are nearly 30 million children in the U.S. that fit into that category. It's likely to be November before the vaccines are rolled out. An FDA advisory panel is expected to meet on October 26th, at which time they will discuss Pfizer's data. We know that they've proposed giving these younger children about 1/3 of the adult dosage, which Rainbow's Dr. Amy Edwards says could mean fewer side effects, too.
Even at that much smaller dose, kids had an extremely robust immune response. Their neutralizing antibody response was very robust. T cells, killer T cells, they had a very good immune response to that lower dose. And then the nice benefit there is, with that lower dose, hopefully we'll see, less concern for significant side effects.
In a recent census survey, Ohioans who are unsure about vaccinating their kids cited side effects as their biggest concern. Sarah Shookman explains why doctors say most families aren't considering this decision correctly. That's coming up at 6 on What Matters Most.
Also coming up for us here on What's New, it's a pageant, but with a big twist. As we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, find out why this event is much more than a beauty contest.
Then MSNBC's Rachel Maddow opens up about a recent health scare and her message to everyone on the importance of paying attention to their bodies.
We're also paying attention to what's happening in the sky, Matt. What you got as far as that forecast goes?
Yeah, I tell you what, we've had some decent downpours popping up. All we needed was that low pressure to get a little closer to us, and we've got our PM rain that we were calling for yesterday. It's coming down good in spots. Your fall sports forecast, you'll be dodging the rain, even some thunder and lightning. It'll remain warm and humid, temps in the 70s. We'll track the radars. We've got your forecast through the weekend coming up.
Oh, I just love that music.
Yeah, I do too. It's so
Puts
good.
a smile on your face. And as we continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, a look at the importance of pageants within the Latino community.
As Jorge Ramos Pantoja reports, their significance has less to do with beauty and puts more emphasis on growth, self-confidence, and sisterhood.
Hair and makeup, set. Outfits, snatched. Confidence, check. Pageants are a huge part of Latin American culture, but they are often ignored during Hispanic Heritage Month. Right here in Cleveland, Miss Latina Image is bringing sisterhood, glam, and values for participants that otherwise wouldn't have the chance to connect with their roots. But they do it with a twist. The meaning behind the program is greater than a sash and a crown.
We are not a pageant. we are a leadership program and we embrace self-confidence. We teach social etiquette, self-esteem, sisterhood.
It started more than 40 years ago with the traditional crowning of Miss Puerto Rico image, a queen representing the culture and values of the biggest Hispanic community in Cleveland at the time. But as the years passed, the community diversified, influencing cultural programs at Julia de Burgos Cultural Arts Center.
That's when we opened the program for all Latinas, and we changed the name from Miss Puerto Rico Image to Miss Latina Image.
Under the direction of veteran beauty queen maker Yacine Cuevas, Miss Latina Image celebrates what differentiates Hispanics and Latinos from one another and empowers young women with knowledge that helps them live the best version of themselves.
I teach them all those details that they can use their entire lives, to be honest, how to sit properly, how to even open a door in a correct way, sit down in a car. There are simple things, but you'd use in a daily basis. Then that brings you your confidence and your self-esteem to a different level.
I was definitely more inside of a shell at the beginning of the program, and I learned that I can open up a lot.
Tools that, just like a palette of makeup and a pair of heels, can be used to highlight their strengths and enhance their lives.
We just focus on the leadership, and that's what I really, really like, because it helped me build up to become a leader.
Making participants step in their stiletto heels and out of their comfort zone.
It was hard for me because I was new in a school that only speaks English, and I was scared at first because I didn't understand nothing.
Helping them achieve goals they never imagined, including breaking down language barriers.
If I want to accomplish my goals, I need to speak English.
And to do public speaking, I never thought I would see myself doing that. But thanks to this program, I've been able to step out of my comfort zone.
Yacine and her team use those learned skills in real-life scenarios through volunteering and social impact activities, keeping their Hispanic heritage and culture alive with pride.
Bringing this to our community that maybe a parent cannot afford to pay modeling classes that are thousands of dollars, and we can provide them here the service for free. It's amazing.
For 3 News, I'm Jorge Ramos Pantoja.
I'm so proud those girls are representing Northeast Ohio here locally and their community locally, but man, outside of Cleveland too.
Yeah, very cool. Self-confidence is so empowering.
Huge.
It really is, and it makes such a big difference in young people's lives when they have that confidence.
We got to talk about this behind us. This is our CSU cam. We have seen a shelf cloud coming into downtown Cleveland. Matt, there's a lot that has been going on with some heavy rain, some rumbles of thunder too.
It's been a while. It's been so dry around here. It's been like the desert, right? So it's nice to actually forecast some rain, and I'm sure a lot of people appreciating that as well. Jay, you have a weather word today?
I do, because that shelf cloud is coming. That makes a beautiful picture. So photograph is your word today.
Yeah, that'll be easy.
I love those pictures when I see them. They kind of take your breath away when you get that real good one that's defined.
Right, the mothership is landing. Look at the CSU cam right now. It is coming down good in Cleveland, especially out over the lake. When you really lose the visibility there, that's that heavy rain shaft coming down. Filling up Lake Erie with lots of water. There you go. Scattered rain and storms. The only thing we do, wow, I'm huge. I had my Wheaties last night. Had a little broccoli to eat. You know, it does amazing things to your height when you just eat the right things. There we go. I feel more like myself now. Thanks, Brooke. You can see the scattered rain and storms that we have. We just needed some lift in the atmosphere to get things going, right? The little poof that gets the clouds going, and we had that. And now these are going to kind of produce more storms because we've already got that lift. So you get these outflow boundaries. So we'll likely see this line push into Geauga, even Lake County. Heavy rain, nothing severe with us. There's not a lot of dynamics in the atmosphere. You can see the lightning strikes we've had pushing into Cleveland now, out towards Lakewood. Should start to dry up. I took this video, put it on Twitter off the third floor balcony there of the shelf cloud. You can see the heavy rain behind it. Shelf cloud's not severe. It's just the cooler air that's rain cooled heading into the more warm, humid air. It kind of steams up. So that's exactly what we're seeing here across the Cleveland area. Down to the south, this has really died out. Southern Summit County, just some light rain. What do you think Nick Camino's doing today? Here you go. He hit me up on Twitter. He's golfing. He said, we got the rain in. He's been asking me all week about today. I said, early, Nick, early. Lynn tweeted me and said the little downpour near Canton area. You're absolutely right. No photograph with this one, but that's okay, Lynn. You helped me get the word of the day in. You can see off towards the north areas of Portage County, some heavier rain pushing into Shalersville, Streetsboro about to get some heavier rain, and then out towards Vienna and Trumbull County, some decent downpours all heading off towards the north. This is that same low pressure, right? Here's the center of the low off towards the west. We get this little shield of rain that'll move in. A lot of this will fade after sunset. Bigger picture, we're finally getting a push out west. That's going to pull this system to the north. We've got about another day and a half of this storm. We've got a couple more days of warm weather, and we certainly have that today. Humidity remaining thick with dew points in the 60s. So where do we go from here? National Zymer hour by our forecast. You can see tonight we quiet down. Tomorrow morning, some lingering rain out towards the west. We're going to do it all over again tomorrow. I think some sunshine, little daytime heating. We'll pop more showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures tomorrow making their way into the mid-70s. There you go. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. The rain will linger on Saturday. Sunday looks good. And then we warm up out ahead of a pattern-changing system later next week. Betsy, the changes lie beyond that, as we talked about. But until then, enjoy summer, everybody.
All right, and keep an eye on that radar for us, too. Thanks so much, Matt. Coming up for us, one megastar is in the hospital tonight, but that's not his main concern. He's determined to get a divorce. Kira Cotton will explain in tonight's Pop Break.
Then this Scream mask is more than a Halloween decoration. What is it? It's pretty cool, actually. We're going to show you in our Show Us Something Good next. Great outfit.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I do.
All right, it is time for your Thursday edition of Pop Break. Boy, that tease going to break really has me wondering.
Jay has got all kinds of questions for you,
Yeah.
Kira. What is happening in the entertainment world today?
Well, Ray J is currently in the hospital battling pneumonia, but he still has one wish, a divorce from his wife, Princess Love. According to reports, the R&B singer and entrepreneur filed for divorce from his wife yesterday in Los Angeles. This marks the third time that the couple has taken steps to end their marriage since tying the knot in 2016. His reality TV star wife first filed for divorce in May of 2020, followed by Ray J filing later that year in September. In both cases, the couple asked that the divorce request be dismissed. Despite their rocky relationship, the two share 2 children together, 3-year-old daughter Melody and 1-year-old son Epic. Let's hope that they can keep things peaceful for the kids. And MSNBC's Rachel Maddow has revealed that she was diagnosed with skin cancer. In a recent episode of her show, she details that thanks to her partner Susan, who noticed a mole on her neck had changed, that she went in and got checked out. A biopsy was done, and Maddow says she had surgery to remove the cancer. According to the host, she's going to be absolutely fine, but strongly encourages listeners to get regular checkups. And after they both tested positive for COVID-19, Dancing with the Stars pro Cheryl Burke and season 30 contestant Cody Rigsby could be headed back to the ballroom. The Dancing with the Stars pro posted a video to her Instagram last night, letting fans know that she had been cleared to return and that her partner would be back in LA this upcoming Friday. Since the duo tested positive last week, they were judged on a practice and performed live via Zoom from separate homes while they were in quarantine. While the circumstances were tough, the couple still managed to score 18 out of 30 on their last dance. Now, both Cheryl and Cody hope to be back under the mirror ball next week, and hopefully the rest of the season will go off without a hitch, guys.
Wow, side-by-side dancing. You know, there are so many kids that had to do that with their dancing schools and their lessons and whatnot. So it's nice to see the pros take a one-up on that.
I'm also just glad to see that I'm not the only one doing ballroom dancing in front of a camera at my house. You know, I guess it's all the rage now.
You have to show us your moves then.
Yeah,
probably not. That's just for my camera at home.
Okay.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it is terrifying.
Thank you so much, Kara.
I won't be live streaming that, I promise you that. Okay, Kara, thanks. Today's Worth the Watch is for anyone who's ever been driven nuts by squirrels raiding their bird feeder.
Jay.
I love this story. This guy decided he was going to get a kick out of it, so he put a scream mask over the feeder, knowing that Mr. Squirrel was going to come and eat, and then he gave us this bit of awesomeness. I mean, that is just brilliant. And I want to point out that when we went to break, we just showed the mask hanging there, and Matt looked at that and said, "Let me guess, that's over a bird feeder." And I said, "Yeah, you got it." And I wish I would have thought of it.
That is pretty cute.
It's kind of scary, really.
I know how much you love squirrels.
Yeah, I do. They're the bane of my existence. You know, my wife calls them bird feeders. I call them squirrel feeders.
Mine as well.
And they just clean them out daily. Yeah. Nothing you can do but get a laugh out of it.
Right?
I mean, I think that's a great idea.
Have you ever set up the obstacle courses for the squirrels?
No, but I did
Those
one time. I greased one of the poles.
Watch them try and get up.
And watched them try to get up and slide down it.
Did you just sit there with a coffee in the morning and like?
I don't drink coffee, but yeah.
Well, a soda,
my drink
water.
of choice. My drink of choice.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that very much. Yep. It was
totally
big fun. I wish I would have put that on video because it could be our Worth the Watch.
Well, next time.
There's always time.
Coming up, Baker Mayfield, the latest on his injury and what it could mean for the game on Sunday.
And what's next for former Cavs player Kyrie Irving? The NBA star is not vaccinated, and he's running the risk of not being able to play. We're going to tell you what's next for him and his team. Come on.
And it's Thursday. You know what that means. It's time to throw down. Well, tonight we are talking about how to stay fit in the fall. We'll be right back.